Do you know what today is?
The day before we fail biology?
Actually, you know, today is...
Hey, do you see what I see?
Death Jr. 2 Root of Evil is a game released for the PlayStation Portable on October 31st, 2006. It was developed by Backbone Entertainment and published by Konami. You have the choice of playing one of two characters, Death Jr., DJ for short, or Pandora, DJ's friend and crush. So what is this game about, and is it any good? In this video, I'll be doing an in-depth review and also share my opinions about it. So sit back, get comfy, make some popcorn, and prepare to leave comments letting me know just how wrong I am. Come at me, bro. DJ's dad discovers what looks like the Jolly Green Giant's daughter at the mall while satiating his deathly hunger with a burger he orders with no onions, which is the real crime, especially if they are grilled. This creature he comes across can grow tree roots instantly, as extra limbs essentially, which she uses to fight him for a bit. He does a great job slicing her roots like butter with his scythe, but in the end her root arms end up wrapping around him tighter than a lettuce wrap from P.F. Chang's. She also has the ability to trap people with some kind of tree sap substance, rendering them totally immobile, like the mosquito in Jurassic Park trapped in the amber. It turns out that earlier that day, DJ and Pandora come across a giant cocoon hanging from a tree and decide to collect it by grabbing onto it, causing it to fall to the ground like a piñata. But instead of candy, they are rewarded with an encounter with the spawn of the Green Bean Giant. DJ and Pandora join the old crew from the first game to come up with a plan to take down this vegetable mascot abomination. The camera is very hard to deal with in this game. The good news is that if you're emulating this game, you could remap the button layout any way you want, which could help a lot. If you're playing on a PSP, something that helps a lot is that if you press the L and R buttons at the same time, you'll activate strafe mode. Now let me be clear, strafe mode is like air conditioning in the summertime. You want it active 100% of the time. The game offers two ways to slay the vile creatures you will come across. You can use melee attacks or use a variety of different weapons to choose from. Meleeing enemies is really satisfying, and this time around, the game offers several significant and stylish upgrades for slashing down baddies. They got really creative with naming them as well. Just like in the first game, there is a spinny helicopter move that helps with the horrifically terrible platforming. There is a dodge maneuver that you can try to utilize to dodge the incoming barrage of glowing demon projectiles. But most of the time I found it to add as much value as sitting through a 3-hour timeshare presentation. I love when games reward you for exploration, and this game does that well. Each weapon is broken up into several pieces for you to find and collect throughout the levels, which adds that sense of reward for exploring. The weapons have good design, and when you upgrade them, it also changes the look, in-game and in the menu. Effort was made with the enemy designs as well. They are unique. One thing that stands out in my mind are the chickens that shoot lasers at you. You don't even have to provoke them. They just come at you guns blazing. I love the first area that you start in. It's a really nice forest, and there are tons of mushrooms and creepy trees. Overall, it has just a really nice ambience to start off the game with. There are a lot of hilarious signs in the mall level.
Cinnabum, West Side Rice Bowl, goth are us. This product that makes you feel good, but it's really bad for you. Action movie with no plot, but a lot of special effects. Individuality based on conformity.
The llama is also pretty funny, but also creepy, probably mainly creepy.
Everyone has a good time at World of Waffles.
I'm sure they do.
The gorillas are cool, the biohazard dudes are cool, the rabbit-headed abominations terrified me. There are spiders with humanoid heads. I'm pretty sure that one was inspired by Toy Story. There's just such a large variety of enemies. On the back of the case for the game, one of the selling points is that there are over 60 different enemy types. I always appreciate when the developers take the time to create unique and interesting enemies. The sound of DJ and Pandora's weapons are very satisfying. Pandora's whip makes a nice, clean crack noise, and DJ's scythe has a realistic sound effect as well. Pretty much every single gun sounds awesome. When you shoot at anything metal, it makes a really good noise, like if you're shooting at the locks on a door or you shoot a robotic enemy, for example. The sound of the bullets hitting the metal is really good. A couple times while you're in the middle of a level, you'll hear some ambient sounds that add a layer of creepiness. In the Waffle House stage, for example, there is a laugh track that periodically plays in the background, giving you an unsettling feeling. And in the mall stage near the food court, there is a high-pitched tone that is in the background that gave me an uneasy feeling as well. I enjoy the music track in the mall. It has a goofy melody, but it goes perfectly with the theme of the game. My complaint would be that the mall level is quite long and it can get old to the point where you're ready to hear something else, which is unfortunate because it's a good song in my opinion. Having played the first game, I was expecting more bosses. The first game has 6 and this game only has 3 unfortunately. I'm not sure why the developers made that decision, especially because I thought there were a lot of fun in the first game. I do like how in the second game you are primed to want to fight some of the bosses. For example, in the second stage there is that demented llama that I mentioned, and he is constantly just psychologically tormenting you throughout the Waffle House. It's an extremely trippy funhouse level that was really fun, and you develop a strong sense of desire to fight him and stop his evil ways from selling questionable waffles. I really like that they added several difficulty levels. I personally kept it on the standard difficulty setting, but it's a nice option to have if you're struggling or if you want a more challenging experience. If I haven't stressed this enough, I think the overwhelming downside to the gameplay is the platforming. The depth perception just isn't there. For example, the vines that you have to swing across often feel much further away than they actually are, and vice versa. It's just very hard to tell where they are. And the main characters have very floaty jumps that add unnecessary difficulty while playing. So is this game worth purchasing and playing? Despite these problems, I think to the average gamer, this game is worth playing. It has fun combat, the story doesn't take itself too seriously, it doesn't wear out its welcome, and it kept what was good about the first game and improved upon it. You'll probably get around 15 to 20 hours of playtime out of it. If you feel like almost a Borderlands-like experience but in third person and just want to shoot your way through many cool and kind of scary creatures throughout the mall, the forest, and a fun house, I think it's worth checking out, and definitely worth adding to your collection if you're a PSP enthusiast. This video's comment shout out goes to JH on Lo-Fi, who's a longtime viewer of the channel, who said, "Your reviews have really evolved throughout the years. This is the best one yet." Thank you so much, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, thank you. Before you go, I just have one big favor to ask, and that is to subscribe to this channel. I have many reviews on this channel that I think are worth checking out, and I'm always working on more. So what are you waiting for? Alright, that's it for me. Stay positive, and thank you for your time.